Hi, my name is Pam Wolf, and I'm 54 years old. Today is January the 19th of 2015. I am an epileptic. I was diagnosed when I was 24 years old. I had had a son earlier that year, and when I quit breastfeeding, I had a pretty major seizure. Woke up on the bathroom floor, called my doctor and was like, something's wrong with me. I said, every time I have a period, if I have severe cramps, I end up waking up on the bathroom floor. And I'll never forget, when I went into his office, he asked me a question, and he said, well, tell me, can you describe what you're feeling? And I was like, well, not really. I just have these severe abdominal cramps, and then the next thing I know, I wake up on the floor. I said, but this time was interesting because I remember it almost felt like there was an earthquake. And so, in the mind of my doctor, Ruby Hutner, he said, well, you know what? We better look further into this. So he sent me to one neurologist who treated me with fluid pills and just was like, he thought I was trying to get out of work. So then when I went back to Dr. Hutner and told him, he said, let's get you to a teaching hospital. So he sent me to the Robert Wood Medical Center in New Jersey, and I saw Dr. Robert Lepore, who I loved. I walked in, he did his evaluation, did an EEG, and he said, we don't see anything, but that's not not unusual. A lot of times it takes having a seizure for us to find a seizure. So next time you have a seizure, give me a call. So it just happened. I go home, and on Sunday I have a seizure. I go into the office on Monday or Tuesday. They do an EEG and try to trigger the response, and sure enough, there's left temporal lobe seizure disorder. It was a low amplitude burst that let them know that I had temporal lobe seizure disorder. Right away, they put me on medication. Fast forward, that was 24, I'm 54, so this has been 30 years of my life and more, because it was happening to me as a teenager, and my family just attributed it to having bad cramps and passing out, fainting, people do it all the time. Well, the reason I'm making this video is because it's very distressing to me that I have a seizure disorder, and because my seizure disorder doesn't fit the normal pattern of all seizure disorders, people almost act like I need to justify that I'm not passing out or that I'm not having a vasovascular response or something like that, when I know for certain that there's something that goes on in my brain before it happens, while it's happening, and after it happens. There is an incredible, strange feeling. I have fainted. I've definitely fainted from standing up too quick, and that's just a weird and uncomfortable feeling. But with a seizure, now let me describe my seizure to you. I normally get low abdominal pain, and then I'll feel a funny feeling in my head, and I'll say to my husband, I don't feel good, I think we better get to the bathroom. With every seizure, almost without question, there may be in 100 seizures I've had in a lifetime, I've probably had 3 that I didn't do this with, but without question, I go to the bathroom and I get on the toilet because I always have either really low cramps from endometriosis, or I have really low cramps from diarrhea, and those abdominal cramps trigger my seizures. So, I can feel the feeling in my head, but if I don't have those cramps, normally I don't have to worry. It won't go beyond that point, and I'll take an Ativan or something like that kind of helps settle my spirit, and then I'm okay. But if I get those cramps without a shadow of a doubt, I know I'm going to go over the edge. My husband will sit in front of me. He will make me look at in his eyes, and he will know by my eyes if I'm going to lose consciousness. He will know because my eyes get dilated, and he can be talking to me, and look like I'm fully awake, but I don't hear him, I don't see him, I don't know anything he's saying to me at a certain point. And I'm still, by all intents and purposes, I'm still there. I mean, I've not fallen, I've not lost muscle tone or any of that yet. And then once that happens, and he's yelling to me, saying, "Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me," then I lose consciousness. And once I lose consciousness, he holds me up. I lose control of my bowels. I lose control of my bladder. And when I come to, I vomit. I always vomit. It just is part of my ritual of the seizure disorder. And my seizures last, the unconscious part will last for maybe 45 seconds to a minute is all I'm unconscious. The post-ictal can last for like, well, as far as my fatigue and exhaustion and all that, usually lasts at least 24 hours, sometimes more. And all I want to do is sleep afterwards. And the reason I guess I'm making this video is because I went online today, because I had an ER visit this weekend. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I'm being treated for that. And I had 4 seizures on Friday because I didn't take the medicine properly or something, but I got nauseous, lost control of my bowels. I mean, like, got real diuretic and diarrhea, and was like, it was causing me low pains. And then suddenly, there I am, 4 in a row, each at a different interval. I have 2 back to back, and when I get to the hospital, the nurse is like, "Are you sure you're not having a vasovascular response? Like, where your heart just slows down?" And I just was so put off by that. I'm going to be truthful with you, because in my mind, who the hell cares if it was a vasovascular response or an epileptic seizure? If I'm losing consciousness, urinating, defecating, and vomiting, I am in danger. I am not able and capable of taking care of myself. And I mean, and maybe medically somebody could explain to me why someone would question someone that's got a diagnosed seizure disorder, whether it matters or not. I don't know. I have no idea. But I just made the decision that there are so many people out there with so many different types of seizure disorders that I don't want to be one person to feel like you have to justify your illness to anyone. I don't want you to feel sorry for yourself. I want you to figure out how to manage your life with this seizure disorder. And I'm managing mine really well. I'm managing it without medications now. Like I told you, this was really scary to me because I've been 3 years without medication for seizure disorder. I went into a hospital in University of Maryland and was weaned off all the medications, and had no intentions, and still don't have any intentions of going back on them because of how they make me feel. But I thought when I got through menopause and I wasn't having periods, I had a really great chance of this not ever occurring to me again. And truthfully, I haven't had a problem until I'm doing chemotherapy now for breast cancer, and it's just messed with my gut so much that it's caused a lot of the low abdominal cramps that cause it. So I just came to tell my story so that if there's anybody out there that has seizures, that have followed their menstrual cycle, followed the same pattern, you're not alone, and your illness is no less than anyone else's, and no greater than anyone else's, and it can be managed, and you can have a really good and productive life. I am 30 years past my original diagnosis, and I am living proof that you can have a good life, even though I just told you I had breast cancer. That part you can ignore. That part, no, that part I'm getting past too. I'm absolutely going to beat breast cancer, and I'm absolutely learned the skills that I need to get through breast cancer from dealing with epilepsy. And I just want you to be encouraged and to not feel alone, because I know no one, I absolutely know no one who has seizures like I have. Not one person. I went online to look at videos to hopefully find someone that might have seizures like mine that would comfort me and reassure me that people just don't get it. And I couldn't find one. So I decided to be 54 and speak some hope and wisdom into some young woman's life who might be at the beginning of her diagnosis, and let you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I haven't had a seizure until this happened for 3 years, and that's the longest I've ever gone through in my lifetime without having one. So good luck. I hope this helps. Thank you.